Let me tell you a story about two people who were not married and went to the support group at the support group that we were working with today. They met and they fell in love. Isn't that wonderful? And they decided that they wanted to come up with a bucket list because they both had Parkinson's and they were dealing with the issues with that, and they wanted to do something special for themselves. And it just so happened they both they wanted to ride hot air balloons. They wanted to do that. So they went in a hot air balloon and they went up, and it was during the glow, as you people in Kentucky know what the glow is, and they got lost and they got panicked and they didn't know what they were doing. They started losing altitude and they were on a desert road and they didn't know where they were, and they see a guy walking along the desert road with a three-piece suit on, and they call down to him and they say, "Where are we?" And he calls back up to them and says, "You're in a hot air balloon." Just then, the hot air balloon took off, and they were saved. They could see where they were going, and they had control again. And the husband says to the wife, "That was a lawyer." And the wife says, "How do you know that?" And he says, "Think about it." And she says, "Three-piece suits. Only lawyers wear three-piece suits nowadays. That's so outdated that it could have had to be a lawyer." He said, "A great guess, but that's not it." She said, thought about it a little while longer and said, "Hot air. Lawyers are full of hot air. He talked to us. Hot air filled up the balloon. We're saved." He said, "Another great guess, but that's not it." She said, "Finally, what is it?" He said to her, "What he told us was entirely accurate and utterly useless." The great thing about this conference, and hopefully my talk today, is that it's not utterly useless. It's got some great content to it, and I've enjoyed the conversation so far today. I used to say that getting Parkinson's was like getting a curveball, that life threw me a curveball. But I've changed that. And I've changed that because it's not a curveball, it's a fastball that hit me right between the eyes. Am I right? When you first get diagnosed, it's like a fastball hitting you right between the eyes. You're stunned. You're in shock. Welcome to your new reality. You don't know what to do. It's like I've been in accidents before. I was in a bus accident where the bus tipped over. It's like white light. It's like slow motion. I remember that whole day just driving around in slow motion, not remembering most of the time that I had that day. It was a big shocker to me. And I'm sure it's a big shocker to you. But it's not only a shocker to you, it's a shocker to your family members. You know, their loved ones, especially your parents, if you're as young as I was, who feel sensitive for you and empathize with you. But it's also a shocker when it's your parent and it's the first time you thought about their mortality. My mother is an interesting person. When I first told her about Parkinson's, and it was a hard conversation to have, it always is, one of the things she said to me was, "Well, everything happens for a reason." And I grew up with her, and I know what she used to say, and it was always, "Everything happens for the best." And I noticed the word difference. And I finally approached her and I said, "Why did you say everything happens for a reason instead everything happens for the best?" She said, "Because of your Parkinson's." And I thought about it and I said, that motivates me. I need to prove to her and to myself that everything happens for the best. My friend Mary came up from Indianapolis to come to this conference today. And she said to me earlier, "Parkinson's started my life." Think about Michael J. Fox. What would he be remembered for? Being an actor, a fine actor. I just saw A Good Wife the other day. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention that I watch A Good Wife, but I do. And he did a great job with that. It was an awesome, awesome presentation. So it sometimes is for the best, and that's something you need to think about. And I tried to think of what are the benefits of Parkinson's. Well, I play Texas Hold'em in a group of guys. And let me tell you something. When I get that fourth queen, no one knows it. No expression change whatsoever. It's a great benefit for Texas Hold'em. And my friends like to be around me, especially the ones that pass gas, because I never smell it. So they just do it. It's interesting, when I decided to leave, as was mentioned in the introduction, leave being a lawyer for a company, and decided to do this differently, I wanted to become a public speaker. Well, think about what a good choice that is. What does a public speaker have to do? They have to have expression in their face. They don't want to have distracting tremors. They have to be able to think on their feet and never be a loss for words. Have a face with a lot of expression. And stress exaggerates and it's not stressful to speak in front of people, I'm sure. Sometimes you have trouble projecting. At least I have a microphone to handle that. But I took all the positive things about Parkinson's and I kind of put them into that I learned today, and I put them into a night out. First of all, I can go out alone because I've got my little hallucinogenic friends to be with me. No one else sees them, but at least I do. I don't feel like I'm alone. I can smoke and drink coffee. Those are all beneficial things we learned today. I can bring my personal masseuse with me to massage my shoulders. I can park in a closer parking spot because I've got handicap parking now. I won't have dementia. I saw Dr. Lidvan speak at the first World Parkinson's Congress in Washington, and she gave a paper on how if you have early onset Parkinson's, you can't have dementia. I happen to have gout. It's the first time I've ever been enjoying the fact that I have gout. I listened to the lunchtime speaker, and every time he said panting, sweating, was I the only one that had a dirty mind on that? Wine, dark chocolate. I also find humor to be a great, attitude adjuster. So I can go to a comedy club with my masseuse, park close by, drink coffee, have dark chocolate, drink red wine, go alone and think I've got a lot of people with me. Go to a Texas Hold'em place right afterward, play Texas Hold'em there, pass gas all I want. Now I'm not going to get estrogen. I'm not going to get estrogen injections. And I'm not going to every 3 months have a hole drilled in my head for the placebo effect.